Welcome to the community that discusses all things Star Wars, Marvel, and more. I'm going to take you through my comic book journey of 2023 next. Hello, my weary travelers. I'm your guy, Dave, and we are about to explore another episode of My Galaxy of Comics. Happy New Year. It's 2024, and what better way to ring in the new year than talk about what I did in 2023. Before we start, make sure you Hulk smash the like button. Turn on your notifications by ringing that bell. Subscribe to help support what I do. Most of all, comment below. Tell me what your big pickups in the comic book life that you live. Tell me what you brought up. Tell me what movie you bought, paperback, book, anything. Tell me what excites you. Cards. I love any kind of cards. Let's go. Talk about it. Make sure you do it in the comments. I want to discuss it. But let's get started and what I did in 2023. Now, for most of you, let me just tell my story a little bit. Collected comics a little bit in college. A guy named Mike Sweeney took me on. I don't know if we're friends anymore, but hey, he got me onto comics, and so I'm a Spider-Man. I grew up liking Spider-Man, Electric Company, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, cartoons. I loved it. That's what I wanted to see. I also was a Star Wars fan. Saw Star Wars when I was 4 years old. So in 2022, I decided at 48 years old or 49, I forget what I was, I'm going to start collecting comics again. Why not? I did collect a little bit in college. All of that was gone. I did a little bit more in like 2000. All that was stashed away. I opened up the box, found out I actually had some decent comics, like 361 second print, a couple others that were pretty nice. Amazing Spider-Man 361. I decided to relive my youth with adult money. And I got into gaming. Anything to do with Star Wars and Marvel I was really excited about, but this channel is Star Wars, Marvel, and more. So you'll see stuff that is not those two things. I will dabble in it, but those are the things I'm excited about. And with no further ado, let's bring on what I picked up in 2023. This is like a top 20. I have left some out. Some will actually show up in, hey, here are my top 10 Amazing Spider-Man comics. Here's my top 10 Uncanny X-Men comics. Here's some things that I felt like it took me a while to find, took me a while to pull the trigger on, things with a little better backstory. Again, these are comics that I can afford, that I can go out and get. Some I actually traded a little bit of money, other comics for. I'll tell those stories, but this is, I think, what the average comic book collector can do. This is not those guys. I mean, I love and this is Avengers #1, and this is a Hulk 181. Not in my ballpark. My goal is to get an Amazing Spider-Man 300, and that's where I'm like, and then go from there. And I haven't got that yet. But I did get one of my personal comic books that excites me, and I left that towards the end. So let's get started. This is 8 Billion Genies. I think this is going to be a big hit someday on TV, if not already. And I wanted to go out and get it. I heard it was a good story. Phil's Comics, Brian there. I haven't collected all 8 yet, so I haven't read it. I'm missing 2 through 6, I think. And I got a couple of different versions of #1, but this is the #1, 8 Billion Genies. I hear it's going to be a good story. So I went and got it. And I took me a while to get a good copy from the internet. And I think I got a 9.8 candidate here. One day I might get this graded. Not yet. It's still, I got it in Mylar and protected that way. Hopefully, I don't handle it that much, so it stays good. But I thought it was something that is going to be something someday, so I decided to collect it. And that's not specking. You know, I'm specking a little bit there, but that's not my main goal. I was collecting comics. Here we go. We got I'm in Phil's Comics, and man, I was in there and Phil was in there. Brian was out of town, and this is Spawn #1 thank you variant, where they thanked. I think it was when they got hit 300 Spawn comics, and they decided to send a thank you comic to all that one to each dealership. And I got this for $20. He said something was wrong with it, but I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And he maybe I just and he honored the price, and I paid $20. And this is I haven't got the Spawn #1 yet. I got someone holding it for me. It's probably a 9.6 candidate. This I think's a 9.8 candidate. One day I think I might get this graded. But I was excited, man. I was excited to get this comic. This is a beautiful comic book. I'm a Todd McFarlane fan. I call him the Todd Father. Just walked in looking through a box, and I'll go, "What's this? Tell me about this. I never heard of it." And sure enough, I know about it now. What do we got here? We got all right. So I went on this kick of going back and getting comics I collected in college, and that's when I got introduced to who Todd McFarlane was. And when I started collecting comics, Spider-Man 1 was coming out, and oh my god, did this cover just jump out at me. I think this is the polybag variant, possibly. I don't know, but anyways, there's no polybag on it. But it was a nice copy. I got two of these. One I'm keeping in my run of Todd McFarlane, Amazing Spider-Man, or just Spider-Man, not Amazing Spider-Man, but Spider-Man. I got the Todd McFarlane run. And then I think it's number 17, which I believe is the Thanos one that he didn't draw, but I got, I think, 1 through 16 too. So yeah, this one was really exciting to get. And I also got I had a silver variant. I actually traded it off. But this was my best one, possible 9.8 candidate. One of these days I'm gonna try to get these graded. And I did a mistake. I thought I was putting Amazing Spider-Man #1 in here, the gold variant, but I actually put in number 13, which is probably even cooler cover with the black costume and like purple webbing. This isn't an expensive comic book, right? So this is the kind of comics I'm going to talk about and what I love about it. And this is the Todd McFarlane's art just jumps out at you, and you can just look at this and all day long and just stare into Spider-Man's eyes. So I love this comic book. All right. But I also have the gold version, and it's a potential 9.8 candidate. Now this I saw on the wall at 94, Docking Bay 94 in Parkland. And I forget the owner's name there, but I go there occasionally, and occasionally he has something priced pretty decent. And I got this Venom off the wall. I think I paid somewhere between $30 and $40 for it. It looked perfect to me. It looked freaking perfect to me. And being the foil cover like this, who knows? I got 1 through 4. I do not have 5. I may have 5. I don't have 6, but I know I have 1 through 4, and I'm trying to get that 6 issue run. But hey, this is every collector who likes Spider-Man or Venom has to have this beautiful, beautiful cover, I think. Going on, we got now I for some reason always liked this character, and why not? And the movie's coming out, and I went back and got these two covers. This is Spider-Man 293, Amazing Spider-Man 293, and 294. One of these has got a ding on it, so I might get a better copy one of these days, but they're all right. They're 9.0, better 8.5, one of them maybe. I don't know. But I got it because I like the covers. Not expensive comic, nothing. They're not flying off the shelves, but aren't these covers cool though? That's why I like them. Now, something stood out to me. I always remembered this cover in my head, and it's kind of like the Mona Lisa. I pictured Hulk a bigger when I finally got this in house. And I'm looking at it, and he's kind of it's all the characters are really small in this, but it kind of tells you the weight that he is carrying. And this has always stood out to me, so I always want to get this. And I thought, oh, cool. Let me find one on the internet. I found a nice copy. Here's Marvel's Superheroes Secret Wars. Thinking number 4. I like it, man. I just it always stuck on my head, and I wanted to own it. So I went and bought this on eBay. Here we go. Next, we got Amazing Spider-Man 258. I believe, where did I get this one? I may have got this down in Miami. I forget the name of the thing, or eBay, but I think I got it out of Miami. But this is the issue where Spider-Man takes his suit to get analyzed. They find out that it is an alien symbiote, and he has to go home in a Fantastic Four, old Fantastic Four uniform with a paper bag on his head that Johnny Storm gave him. Silly, kind of silly issue. But this is right after Mary Jane gets like attacked by the black symbiote suit. But I think it was an important key issue. I wanted to get it, and I'm glad I have it now. And if you know the Bagman, Spider-Man Bagman character, this is the issue it's coming from. X-Men, I want to say this is 239, if I'm not mistaken, or what is it? Yeah, 239. Uh, I do have the Mr. Sinister first appearance, but I got this. It's a 9.6. I paid about $75 for it. I think it's worth more, and I love first appearance covers. I think they're the bigger deal. I love them. If I can have a first appearance cover, if it's the first appearance and the cover is his first appearance on the cover, then great. This happens to be just his first appearance on the cover, and it just stands out to you. Obviously, love it. That's why when I saw it, I just had to get it. And again, that's Phil's Comics. He did a little deal with me, and I got this and another issue of Uncanny X-Men at the same time for about 150. The first, I think it was the first time Psylocke was named. That her name became Betsy Braddock became Psylocke. Here we go. We got Strange Academy #1. Now, I've been looking for a 9.8 online candidate, and then I come across Phil's Comics. They're doing some consignment, and boom, Strange Academy is one of the comic books. And I looked at it. It has a spine tick on it, but that's really it. 9.8. I'm like, all right, I can live with a 9.8, even though I know there's a spine tick. But hey, it's not a 10, it's not a 9.9. It's a spine tick. Obviously, there's got to be something wrong with it to not get a 9.9 and 10. I figured that's what it is. 9.8, Strange Academy. I paid $125 for it, or that's the value of it. I traded in some comics for this one and another comic that's going to be in this video, and I got a good deal. I paid 125 for this and 300 for the other, and it worked out. I love this comic. I love this story. I got 1 through 18, or I got 8 and 10 on the way. I don't have them all here yet. I'm gonna do a video about all of them. I got the 3 follow up, the one with Moon Knight, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man, and I just bought Doctor Strange, The Death of Doctor Strange. So I will have all the Strange Academy comic books. Now I'll probably every once in a while pick up a variant, just because there's some really cool art, some really good characters. I think they'll be around for a long time. I think this is a big deal. I think it's the Harry Potter of the Marvel universe. I think it's really cool. This obviously X-Men Days of Future Past came out. I'm sure this comic book was a hell of a lot more expensive in the day. I was at Tate's Comics in, I think it's Sunrise, Florida. They had a $100 version of this and a $65 version of this. The $100 version had a ding in the bottom right hand corner, and it was smushed a little bit. But it was color was just bright as can be. This is a little more faded, but the corners were great. Not a whole lot of anything else wrong with it. Just a little bit faded. I paid $65 for this and thought I got a great deal. For some reason, you could tell that comics are on the downtick a little bit because none of these comics were flying off the shelves. I looked at it; it was still there the next week. I couldn't believe it, so I went and got it. Now, This also was at Tate's Comics, and same deal. Saw it, came back a week later, still there. I mean, went over about 4 weeks. These comics were still there. I couldn't believe it. Now, I believe this is the second appearance of Dark Phoenix, but the more iconic cover of her. This was the first of the group that I bought, and I paid about $70 for this. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a high range of 150, 170 bucks. This it's not a perfect copy, but it's on the higher end. I don't think it'll get a 9.8, but definitely over a 9, if not like 9.4, possibly. I think 9.2. I think so. I like it. I really loved it. Love this comic. The condition it was in. It's Uncanny X-Men 135. Now this one, I walk into Phil's Comics. I know this is even before this strike happened. I know Deadpool's coming. I'm not even sure I bought this in 2023, but I'm putting it on this list. I said, "Hey, is there a comic where Wolverine and Deadpool fought?" And he goes, "Well, Wolverine number, I think it's 55." And I'm like, "All right." Uh, I go online and I find one, and it comes and it's damn near perfect. There is a like indentation. I think this is pressable as a 9.8 candidate, 9.6. I think on the low side. This was a beautiful comic book, and I am so happy I saw it. I paid 50. No, I paid $55 for it. What I I now forgot what number Wolverine this is, but I paid $55 for it. I don't think it's Wolverine 55. I forget which Wolverine it is. It could be 85, 84. I don't know. I can't remember. You know what? Let's look. Wolverine, Deadpool. I'm taking a timeout. Wolverine and Deadpool. I feel silly. You probably know what this is. Wolverine and Deadpool. Cool cover. All right. A lot of Wolverine and Deadpool covers. Oh, here we go. It is 88. There we go. Wolverine 88. So Wolverine 88. I paid $55 for it. I like it, man. I like it. Kind of a silly story, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, what a wonderful freaking cover. So violent, but wonderful cover. Now, I don't know about this. I didn't real, I had no memory of this comic. This is Wolverine 8, and it's Mr. Fix It, apparently Hulk. I don't know the story at all, but I love blue covers, and this just popped. And I knew it was one of the bigger keys of Wolverine, and I think it's just because of the cover. So those two covers are probably two of the biggest out of the run, besides Wolverine 1, and that is on my list to get. I'm going to do a video of comic books that I want to get for 2024, and Wolverine 1 is going to be one of them. I blew my chance. I could have got a really minty fresh copy for about 45 bucks. A couple weeks, some news came out, and a couple weeks later, everything was no less than 90 to 100 bucks. So, all right, I'm gonna try to get that comic. But hey, and now I'm gonna try to get it in a 9.8. I'm gonna try to get Wolverine 1 and 9.8 because the back cover of that, beautiful. So that needs to be displayed. So hey, Wolverine 8. I love this cover. It is I think I can get this to a 9.6, but it is a 9.8 candidate, I think, according to me, according to Dave. Now, here, this is one of my personal I gotta get comic books. This is Amazing Spider-Man 316. This is the first full body cover appearance of Venom. I forget if it's 315 and it has his head, Venom is back kind of thing. But I have this one, and his first full body cover appearance, and obviously it just stands out to you, much like that Doctor Sinister or Mister Sinister. Geez, well, how did I get this one? Um, I was a bidder online. I'm actually kind of disappointed in its condition. I don't think it has white pages. I think on the 316 price mark, I think it's a little dark for some reason. Like maybe there's a smudge or something that happened at one time. The person just took really nice pictures of it. Let's just put it that way. But I believe it's above a 9.0, possibly a 9.2. When I looked at it, first of all, I thought it was a perfect 9.8 candidate. I don't think that anymore. But I believe I paid about 155 with shipping on it. I think I overpaid. I think it would have been more fair to pay about 120, 130 out the door with this thing. But hey, live and you learn. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. If I make a mistake on buying an Amazing Spider-Man, that was one of my better mistakes. This one, I saw it and I just had to get it. It's autographed by Todd McFarlane. It's right there by the green guy near his knee. Um, and it's a 9.2, so not great, right? But it's my first autograph by Todd McFarlane. I believe I paid 225 to 250, 225, I think, maybe 250. Just Todd McFarlane's autograph alone should be worth 200. This is the first Amazing Spider-Man he's drawn. So that's why I was like, okay, first Amazing Spider-Man he drew. And why not? It's autographed. I'll take it. I want to get 299 autograph now too, because that's the first cameo appearance of Venom. Even though Todd McFarlane believes 299 is the first official appearance of Venom. And why not? He says, I am Venom on it. But here's 298. First Amazing Spider-Man, autographed by the Todd Father himself. I love this comic. It's not the greatest covers, 298, 299. That's why they like 300, 301. But hey, it's his first ever time drawn Amazing Spider-Man. Had to get it. What do we got next? Oh, Wolverine 1. So, Bry's Comics. You know, Bry's Comics, they have probably the most fairest prices out there for a lot of higher end stuff. This was I want to say 65. Well, whatever it is, I had 10% off because you use a code or whatever. I think I probably paid 260 to 280 with shipping on this thing. Easily over a $300 comic. Wolverine 1, 9.6. The 9.8s are going too crazy. The only issue with this comic, that's why it's 9 on 9.8, is I think one of the corners is a little whitened, a little frayed a little bit. Other than that, beautiful freaking comic. Um, I like the art on it. I think this is Brian, if I'm not mistaken. It's not the greatest art in the world though, right? But I think the next one is probably the best cover in the world. And let's bring it up. No further ado, my biggest, biggest pickup of the freaking year. I got this the same time as Strange Academy. I went in there with a bunch of comics. I didn't get a whole lot of money for what I was giving. He didn't take all of it, but I still ended up paying a couple $100 in cash, a little above that. But I got the Strange Academy and the 9.6. This one, I believe, $300. I ended up they wanted $399 for it. Possibly fair, higher end though for 9.6 at the time. But I said this is a generous 9.6. So I only want to offer 300 for it. And he took it. So boom, I have a Hulk 340. So happy this dude is. This guy who's got two thumbs is happy. This guy, I got the Incredible Hulk 340. The Todd Father himself. I kind of want to, if Todd McFarlane ever does a signing with CGC again, I want to send this off, get this autographed, get it reholdered. I got to get it. I got to get him to autograph this one. This would be amazing. This was one of my grails. I just like the art. I have no idea about the story on this. I have never read it, but I will now. Now that I mentioned it and embarrassed myself, I'm gonna go read this. But the cover is what brought me to it. I honestly I am more about the art than I am about the story. I love the art, man. I'm more into art than I am the story. Now, if there's a story, oh great, even better. Like Strange Academy, I love the story. That's what's gonna draw me to it. The Hulk fighting Wolverine. I want to see Hulk fight Wolverine. That's what drew it to me. They're on the cover together, the same way with Deadpool and that other one. I like the cover. I'm gonna go with cover. I'm going with cover over story. That's why I don't pick up a first appearance of Rogue. You know, that's not like my because the cover. You know, there's just certain comic books you just wish there was a better cover. Like I am more happy about my Sinister cover than I am about my first appearance of him. So you know, it's got Wolverine on the front of it. And yeah, this by far the 9/6 Incredible Hulk. I need to get this autograph someday by the Todd Father. Hey guys, that's it. I appreciate you sticking with me on my journey. That is my 2023. It's not sexy. I don't have a lot of money. I am trying to make my way in this comic book universe, and hopefully you can follow me with it. And let's talk about comic books. Make sure you put in your comment. Tell me what you think your biggest haul was, your biggest comic. Give me your top 10, whatever you want to do, or just tell me which of these comics you thought was the better story, the better deal. Which one was my best comic that you think of? Stick with me. It'll get better and better through the years. I'm in here for the long haul. This is Dave. I'm your guide. And let's read some comics, man.